And they actually have a chronic Foley, and they do surgeries with it too. They walk around with it. It's actually not that uncomfortable. It's a nuisance, but it's not like you're in pain and hurting as you're walking around. It's actually not that.
Yeah, it was burning when they put it in last night.
It's very different when they put it in than when it's already been in.
Yeah.
It's a very, very different thing. Once it's in, it's just in.
And how long does that stay in then?
Depending on how long, if I put a Foley catheter in and you have 3 times the bladder amount, then a week. Usually it's like 5 days, 3 to 5 days.
All right. And again, a urinary infection is a very big problem because it can contaminate the graft.
Right.
So that part, it's not even a choice. And as I said, you may or may not have a choice on it. Your bladder is the one deciding.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what happened is that throughout the night I just increased, as anesthesia wore off, and then
Mm-hmm.
I continued to go, quite a bit more
Walk a lot.
and easier. So
I need you to get up, walk, move around, do normal stuff. The more you do that through the day, the higher the chance with it. But again, if by later today it has not happened, it's probably not going to happen for several days, and it's better to have a catheter.
yeah.
Okay. So
Let's go
from
forward.
from my standpoint, good. From my standpoint, I do want to send you home today.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you overnight just because of this, and I'm sure that's okay with you guys,
Sure,
right?
yes.
If you guys follow
If I
up,
have to do a kidney ultrasound because of his elevated creatinine, we can do it on an outpatient basis.
perfect. That would be wonderful. All right.
Okay.
Any questions for me? Surgery
any
went well,
precautions
everything went
as
great.
far as showering.
No shower till tomorrow.
Okay.
After that, no restrictions.
Other
Okay.
than-
Can you come in and just put some stairs?
Can I lift 15 pounds with my right arm? Or no?
No. I'll tell you why.
See, I got a computer bag. It's probably good. I got to weigh that thing.
So this is the reason, and you know this. Every time we try to lift something, no matter which arm it is, you tense up your neck as you're trying to lift something, and that pulls on both muscles. This muscle that's here,
Mm-hmm.
I cut part of the muscle to be able to get to the artery underneath, and all of this is raw tissue that if you force it, it's gonna tear, it's gonna bleed. So it takes about 2 weeks to a month. No lifting more than 10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Yes.
Okay.
No lifting more than 10 pounds.
All right.
All right. I usually say 1 gallon of milk in each hand is as much as you can do.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Just for about 2 weeks to a month. After that, the scar tissue is already in, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And everything moves on a slow basis. I don't want you to do this,
Yeah.
because that can. Think about the easiest way that I've explained this is Play-Doh. Scar tissue is just like Play-Doh. If you slowly stretch it, you can make it this long. But if you just pull on it, it's just gonna rip in half. Make sense?
Yep.
That's exactly how scar tissue works.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully, later today, as I said, the surgery went perfectly well. Everything looks great. No issues or concern from my standpoint, and it seems like you're already eating, which is the last part of it. There's a
Yeah.
tube that drains some fluid, and when you eat, it may accumulate some fluid in your neck, and it seems like it's not doing it. So everything looks good.
Where's this tube?
It's a blood vessel.
Oh.
It's called a lymphatic channel that just drains some proteins.
Okay.
And sometimes it's a very thin vessel that just leaks into the wound, and we only notice it leaking after you eat.
Okay.
So in this case, it seems like it's perfectly fine.
I had a sandwich last night.
Good. That's plenty of stuff to fill up that fluid. So
Yeah.
Right.
So it wasn't blocked. It was actually collapsed.
no, it was completely blocked. We
It
knew
was
that
complete- It was blocked.
we knew it was blocked from the CAT scan. The problem with the vessel behind the collarbone, the subclavian artery,
Yeah.
it tends to be a very flimsy vessel, and just like the body, when you don't use something, it gets atrophied.
Mm-hmm.
The arteries work in the same way. That artery, to begin with, is very flimsy, and when you don't have blood pressure, strong blood pressure on it, the muscle on it gets even weaker.
Okay.
And the vessel was so weak that I was touching it and it was falling apart. So I had to do some magic to be able to keep it in shape and put a graft to it.
Yeah.
So I had to pull a few.
Spray adhesive or something.
There is something similar to it, actually. There is something very similar to it. But yeah, I had to pull a few tricks underneath my sleeve to be able to hook the plastic tube to the vessel, because as soon as you touched it, it literally will disintegrate. So it was very, very friable. Not for the faint of heart, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That part was
Had or no shit or something at that point, but.
What?
Probably had or no shit in you at that point, but.
I mean, we have some tricks and tools that we use for this, but it makes it a very complex operation.
Yeah.
Rather than just opening up a tube and sewing something to it. It's the carotid artery was normal, so that part was very simple and easy. The subclavian artery was. I'm going to give you the example that we use in vascular, which is wet toilet paper. Try sewing 2 pieces of wet toilet paper together.
Oh, jeez.
It's kind of like that. So we have a few
You
tips and
can't even
tricks.
pick it up.
You cannot even pick it up. That's what I'm saying. When you touch it, it kind of disintegrates from how flimsy it is. So I use something called felt pad, Pledget, some special stuff that we do to be able to hook 2 things together in taking the pressure out of the hookup itself.
Okay.
So it looks pretty good. And this is why I say very slow movements
Yeah.
on everything for about a month.
Right.
All right? And that's why the lifting weight is very restricted for about a month.
Okay.
And I want to see you in the office 3 weeks to a month or so. You can just call and make the appointment while you're here. All right?
3 weeks to a month. Okay.
3 weeks to a month. Just call and make an appointment. All right?
All right.
Thank you for the help.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
How long was I in yesterday?
The surgery?
Yeah.
2.5, I think.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 hours or so
Not bad.
was the surgery itself,
Well,
which I will call it normal.
Yeah.
This is how much, as long as they usually take. Just about that long.
Okay.
So it just took a little longer to do the hookup because it's a little more gentle manipulation. It takes us a little longer to do the hookup to the friable vessel. But other than that, the rest was nice and straightforward.
Good.
All right.
All right.
So
Thank
I
you.
will see you in the office in about a month.
All right.
We did order the CA199.
You did?
We
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Yes. Do you have any results for it or no?
I didn't see this morning.
Actually, he's logged in. Let's see if it's already back.
I think it might have been.
That way we give you the
I'll just
results
see.
and you already know it. All right. So it's 141.
Oh, okay, not too bad.
What have you been before? Do you remember?
It was 122 last time.
Last time, how long ago?
About the 21st, I think.
Okay. So this is something to follow up. Who is it?
Dr. Leonard.
Leonard. All right. Yeah, just to follow up with Bob Leonard with this. Remember what I told you? You just need a captain of the ship to decide.
Try to take all the information, decipher it, and try to make the best decision.
I understand. I think that you need some medical guidance on it,
Sure.
rather
Oh,
than
absolutely.
yourself doing the decision.
Well,
So,
yeah. No,
as you know, and unfortunately, that part I cannot help because I don't know enough.
not your expertise.
Not my expertise, unfortunately. All right. Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Very good.
Dr. Harry
See you
Potter.
later. Absolutely.
Thanks, Dr. Harry Potter.
Mr. Magic.
My pleasure. 1 month, okay? 3 weeks to a month at
Thank
the office.
you.
Thank you for the help. I appreciate
No
it.
problem, thank you.
Oh.
So what